Yeah, I try to do these every Tuesday. Sometimes they're hit or miss, or if I'm busy, but I try to pop
Yeah.
on so everyone's still.
I watched a couple of your older videos, and sometimes it's like a lot of people, and then sometimes it's just you. Not sure why.
Yeah, in the beginning, I had like 20, 30 people, but I was advertising a little bit more.
Got it.
And then now it's just purely content. And, but yeah, man, how can I help you?
I was just, I guess, binge watching a couple of your videos and whatnot. And how's the mobile home park coming along? It's not worth it to like put more units on it.
What do you know about it?
You're trying to sell it or something like that. I think I heard in one of the videos, like I think it was just a lot of work, and a lot of them were like you own them, I guess, and it's not tenant owned, so then it's way more work than you expected or something.
Yeah, yeah. Do you own a mobile home park yourself?
No, I'm just based in Southern California. Nothing out of state. I don't have anything outside of the state.
Wait, were you the guy that was in Orange County?
Yeah. ADUs.
Oh yeah, 80. Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished 2 of them. They just moved in this past weekend, so I have more time now. I was so stressed with that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have some questions about that actually, but yeah, in the process of selling it still actually, should hopefully closing soon. I just mailed my paperwork today. But it's been crazy. It's been crazy doing it, and probably gonna take a loss on this one. And then, yeah, the project was way too much. The area was not a great area. And then, the property management wasn't that good either. So kind of had a perfect storm. So relatively speaking, I thought the loss would be a lot worse, to be honest.
No, but
But
like, if you didn't have the apartments and you only had the mobile home parks, and like I think you said in one of the videos, each would rent for like $600 a unit, right? The space rent.
yeah, no, actually, so for everything total, like just renting out the whole thing, including lot rent, it's about 500, 600.
Okay.
For the older ones, the brand new one, I rented out for around 750. But those I got loans on it because it's 100% financed. So, interest rates went up, right? It was a variable interest rate on those um, mobile home loans.
But how much is a home? Each home,
Each home is like around,
if you were to buy it and put it
yeah,
on site.
I bought two. I bought two and brought it on site. It was, geez, what am I blinking? I want to say like 35 to 40K.
What did you say? I thought one of your videos said like you had a fire and insurance paid out like 3,000 to clean up and 10,000 for the new home. Does that mean it's only 10,000?
Well, that's the old home. That's an older home,
But
right?
don't they give you the price to replace it?
No, I only insured 10,000.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I was gonna say if each house is only 10,000, then bill is put in as many as you can. But okay, I
Yeah,
didn't know you could put a limit on that. Like we
yeah,
had 2 structure fires, and they just pay out as if you're building a brand new house.
yeah. I mean, that's replacement cost insurance, right?
Okay,
Like if my apartment, my apartments, I have replacement cost insurance. So if it burned to the ground, then I can literally rebuild it to like an A-class apartment complex,
got
right?
it. Yep.
Mobile home part for mobile homes, the problem with mobile homes is they're not as durable, right?
Yep, I agree.
They're that's why they value less. So because of that, insurance actually puts a cap on it.
Mhm.
So I was actually lucky to even get 10K on it, to be honest. But because I had like 20, so many homes on the policy, I think they just kind of allowed me to do that to spread the
Got
risk.
it.
But yeah, it burned down. I got 10K. I might have been 10K total, but
Got it.
yeah, 10K for the home, and then whatever 3,000 to clean it up and dump it. But yeah,
Not the way to go, huh?
yeah. I mean, I made basically every mistake in the book. If you listen to all the syndicators, city water, city sewer. I had public or private, right? I had septic and city water. It was mostly park-owned homes, right? And you can have tenants on a rent-to-own model, but they're not going to their success rate is not good. The moment like something breaks down that's major, they break the rent-to-own agreement, right? Like if the water heater breaks down, they can't afford $700 to fix it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like it's rosy to say, but like the actual execution is not great. It's hard to evict in Alabama, harder than I thought it'd be.
Oh wow. Yeah.
My property managers just suck. I mean, that could be the case too. I mean,
Sure.
they were pretty terrible when I kept the problem with mobile home parks is there's not much property management, right? Like apartments, I would fire them and I have like 2 backups, but mobile home park, I can't just like fire them and like find a replacement easily.
Sure. Yeah.
And when I bought the park, they had like collection issues, and I thought, oh yeah, like they're like, oh yeah, we could fix it. But when I came on board, it has collection issues, so
They don't have the money to go after anyways.
yeah, and like it's just kind of like, dude, it's gonna cost me like $800 to evict someone that's paying like $200 in lot rent.
It's not worth the stress and all that.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like that, and basically what I learned my property management does is they have like no accountability. They just blame other people, never blame themselves.
Oh yeah.
And, like, literally, I'm like selling it, and I'm like doing their job for them. I'm like they're so
that sucks.
yeah, they're not competent. They basically overpromise, underdeliver, and despite, like I said, despite literally everything going wrong, like COVID, things were more expensive for renovations. I couldn't evict people. It's a high crime area.
Mhm.
Property management was terrible. Like I came out probably gonna lose around $50K.
Not too bad, but yeah, lesson
Yeah.
learned. And it's on your resume.
I have to, I'm selling it, like, so that guy is gonna assume my seller finance note, and then I'm seller carrying second. So like that new owner has like a very low down payment, but if from the money I get being second position, it'll basically pay back my 50,000 over like.
Is that risky though?
I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, obviously second lien is more riskier, but they basically the new owners are gonna dump in at least like close to $1 million.
Oh, so I thought you meant low isn't okay. So they're just going in low so they have more money to renovate and whatnot.
Correct. Yeah, and then like unfortunately, because the deal is not that great. I mean, you're gonna be losing money on the deal, so it takes a certain type of person, and but it's just so frustrating because like like no one honors like the contract, like, oh, you're supposed to close on this date, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, like, we close when we close. And
that's your buyer right now?
Well, that's multiple buyers.
Because it sounds like I've heard about this thing being an escrow for a while now.
No, so I had a different buyer before, and that
Okay.
guy, he was literally an escrow for him for like 4 months, and then on the day of closing, he like bailed.
On the day of closing, wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, he could have just been honest and be like, "Hey, I don't have
Oh.
the money raised." It was a syndicator,
That's frustrating, yeah.
and then he didn't communicate, and then I was just like, "All right, well, shit." And then I had this other. If that guy actually closed, I would have made money on the deal.
Oh wow.
So I was pretty
You
disappointed.
got his deposit at least?
Yeah, I mean, it's not much, but yeah, I took his 30K.
Okay, that helps. That's
But
pretty
in the
good.
time I extended, the park, it just kind of broke even, right?
Sure, yeah. And the stress, yeah.
There's money. So I just said that, like, dude, if I were to go back in time, I should just, because I was assigned between a 50-unit Section 8 apartment complex versus this mobile home park. And now, like, I look back and I was just like, oh, the Section 8 apartment complex, like, oh, it was only like a 6% cash on cash return. But now that I'm like more seasoned, I'm like, dude, like, if you get guaranteed rent on the first of every month automatically from the government, that's totally worth it. For like,
Was that in Oklahoma?
Yeah, near my 20 unit actually.
Nice. Are they both close to each other? The 20 and 26?
26 Oklahoma City, 20 is in Enid, and then the 50 would have been in Enid as well.
Got it.
But like I remember that guy was telling me, because I actually like met him, like actually was in his house when I was visiting Oklahoma, and like he was just like, yeah, like you get guaranteed $33K a month, like deposit to your bank account, and there's like a wait list of like Section 8. Like,
No,
so
yeah. We have like 10 units on Section 8 in Orange County, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I mean, it's great if you have a property manager on it, but if I do the inspections myself, it gets kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, like there was like I think she was like a live-in property manager.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like if all 50 of your tenants are Section 8, then I mean she's probably used to it, right?
Yeah, and the inspector knows her and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like like looking back, I was just like, yeah, I mean he wanted like I think 50K per door, which was like a little bit higher than market. I think at the time it was like 45K per door. But damn, I mean 33K guaranteed every month, right? And then the rent would have raised to 36K because they bake in the raises, and it's guaranteed. Like you cannot, like literally the first every month, you're not worrying about a single collection. And then since it was a Section 8 housing, I could have gotten a loan options, a HUD loan option that's amortized over 40 years.
So that building is Section 8, like it's dedicated for Section 8 only. Is that how it works?
Yeah, all units have to be rented to Section 8.
It has to be rented to Section 8, and
Yeah.
you can get full fair market rental.
Yeah, I mean, you do the math, right? Like 33K divided by what is that? 50 units. That's about
60.
Oops, 50. About 660 a unit, and yeah, I mean, my 20 is only getting about 500, so that's actually, that's pretty decent. That's about right. That's market.
You don't have issues with this price point. It's not like a certain type of client a certain type of tenant that kind of like destroys your place or brings in too many people or anything like that.
No, so it's really strict, right? So when Section 8 does when Section 8 does inspections, it's also nice for you too, because like you're gonna audit to make sure they're doing it. But then, like I said, I have a live-in property manager there, so like they know, right? They would know if like, hey, you're sneaking in like 5-10 people in there,
right. But you don't have issues over in Oklahoma about that. Like here, yeah, I mean, because here you waited like 6-7 years to get your voucher. I don't know about how it is over there.
Well, I think, keep in mind in Oklahoma, right? You can get a place for rent for $500 a month, right? And you can work at Walmart and take home $2,000 a month. That's like 25% of your rent.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I just think in California, I mean, we're just a larger population here, right?
Yeah.
So it's by nature of it. And like if you think about like you can be a Walmart worker in Oklahoma and only pay 25% of your income towards rent. Versus if you're a Walmart worker in California, you better have like 4 or 5 of you guys.
Oh yeah.
Into like
in the one bedroom. Yep.
Yeah.
We've evicted 9 of them.
Yeah. So like, so in a weird way, like you're not going to really have that because they're like, well, why would we cram pack when we all can just, afford, our own place. So, like I was looking back and yeah, I kind of regret that. I was like, oh man, if I would have bought that, I'd be gravy. Oh my God.
A lot of shit was right.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020, man. I was just
Always.
I was thinking like, man, that one got away from me. And there's another one near my 26 unit. I remember I bought my 26 unit and I bought it for like 20K a door, which is a steal, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're worth about 65K a door now.
Okay.
I put in 10K on average on each door, right? So I'm all in for 30K. It's worth 65K per door.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy margin. And I remember there's a 26 unit nearby that I was selling for like, I think it was like 35K per door. And I was just like, oh, it's a ripoff. And then I had my property managers look at it like, yeah, it's in bad condition. And then now I'm like, damn, it's worth 65K per door. Even at 35K per door, I'd be in for 45K per door. And like, so I'm like, oh, had I bought both of those, I had shiny object syndrome. I deviate to mobile home parks, and then I lost, right? So that kind of reinforcing that, like, just do what you're good at, right? Like, don't deviate wherever that is.
Yeah.
And like, you can get rich just doing ADUs. You can get rich just doing apartments. You can get rich just buying in SoCal, right?
Right. Yeah. Just focus on one thing.
Just focus on like what what your unfair advantage is, and like you don't need to like have a shiny object syndrome. So like that's kind of my $50,000 MBA in parks, and it's after being in it, I'm just like, I think all those syndicators and podcasters, man, they're just painting a rosy photo so that you invest in their syndication.
I think so. I think a lot of people are saying syndications are going to hurt now and next year. I don't know, insurance cost, everything, and it's been hyped up so much.
Yeah, my insurance went up by like $5,000, right?
Yeah,
and then you increase your
expense by
$5,000, and then your cap rates are expanding too, right? Because interest rates go up, so cap rates go up.
Yeah, that's like losing 10 units basically.
Yeah, so it's kind of madness right now, but that's the whole point, is to hold and stay in the game, right? So that's kind of
like that's my other issue. We have like a 15 unit near Knott's Berry Farm, and insurance hasn't adjusted at all. We even had a structure fire and it never went up, which is weird because they paid out $258,000, I think, and they never went up after the fire.
Per door, or just
just that one unit that burned down.
What was the cause of was it just a kitchen fire?
Yeah, they fried her tortilla and they forgot about it and went across the street.
Oh wow.
But then so I mean, we were thinking about selling it. It's only 50% LTV right now. We pulled out like 600,000 to build a bunch of ADUs, which I mean, the returns on the ADUs are amazing, like 15 to 20%, basically.
How much does it cost to build an ADU? It's like around 300.
No, it depends. I mean, we built a bunch of 800 and we built 1,000. We built 1,200 square feet, but I built so many with this guy. He does it for me pretty cheap. And I provide finishing material. So it ends up being about 160, 162 a square foot.
Oh, wow. So how much total for the ADU?
So I just finished 2 800 square foot and it cost me, I think 380,000. Yeah. But okay. I'm collecting 5,500 a month.
How do tenants like that ADU model? Like, are you getting the same type of rents for the back unit and the front unit? Or
so it depends. Like, we only build 2 and 3 bedrooms. Parking is always an issue, right?
Yeah.
People, especially Asians, they love their parking. They want to be guaranteed as parking. I don't blame them. Yeah. I think it's the future, sadly. They just have to get used to it.
That's true.
But I've been lucky. Some of our properties have really wide lots. So then I built an ADU in front. It's the first front ADU in the city. So the city, no one knows it's an ADU. They think it's a second house, you know.
Yeah.
So that one they couldn't tell. And then the other ones, I just put 4 units on a 6,000 square foot lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it zoned that way, or
what's that?
Was it zoned that way, or you just...
No? So this one is actually a really weird one. It's my dad owns it. I found something. I was scrolling through the deed documents one day, and I said, "Hey, this is a duplex from like 1900." And I went to the city. I said, "Hey, if it's a duplex, it's a multifamily. I want to build 2 ADUs." They said, "You can't do that. We don't have any duplexes in this area." So I brought up the deed from 1900, and it says duplex. So then they had to let me build 2 units detached, and there's no parking. But we went back and forth for a while. They said, "We don't have any duplexes in this area. I don't know what you're talking about." And I pulled out the deed. And so that one has like no parking. There's only 3 tandem parking spaces for 4 units. So you can't, share a tandem yet. That's all from the same family. So that one's a little harder to rent out. Other than that, no. I mean, we always extend the driveway. We always extend their approach, provide more parking on site. It costs us a lot more, but I think it's worth it. I didn't realize garages are so important though. My first one, I tore down the garage and I built a 1,200 square foot ADU, and I think that one hurt because a lot of people wanted a garage.
Oh yeah, because I was like, you can convert the garage if it's detached to detached ADU.
Yeah. If you're in a super high demand area, then yes, like LA. But out here, I think Orange County, they still want the garage. Storage is so important. Yeah, so I think that might have been a mistake, but I'm not sure yet. But I got lucky though, because it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The lady that rented it is just her and her 10-year-old son from China. They just wanted a place for him to go to school and sleep at night. That's it. So it's just one car. They don't care for a garage. So I got lucky with that one.
Yeah, I was like trying to eye some stuff like in Fullerton or Orange, where basically the garage is detached and basically convert that into a garage.
Yep.
For me to potentially live in, right? And then rent the front house and there'll still be parking, but not garage parking. And then my one in Lake Forest, that one has like a really long driveway, which is like you can fit like 5 cars, 5, 6 cars in that driveway, plus a 2-car garage. And that one, I was actually thinking of building like a 1,200 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath, like backyard house,
full size,
and then potentially live in there myself or rent that out. But I don't know how that'd be, because
it's very cash intensive.
It is. Isn't there financing now for ADUs? Like, I thought I saw financing for ADUs. Where
I see the social media marketing all the time, but I don't know anyone that actually got one.
Okay, yeah, I see the social media marketing too.
Exactly.
I don't know legit though, because traditional is like you get a HELOC or something, or cash out refinance an existing property. But I was just like, oh, if that's truly the case and that's legitimate, then it's just like a mobile home, right? You can kind of finance the mobile home.
Did you ever get the schools first HELOC?
No. Do you have to work for a school?
No, you have to. Immediate family or you has to work for a school district. Immediate family has to refer you in.
I don't have anyone that works in the education space.
Like even like cousins would refer like their mom would refer like your mom, and then your mom could get you in. Like that's how it works.
Oh, so it can be very, very distant.
But then you're in the win, aren't you? It's pretty easy. It's easier.
Yeah, I am a new win. Just get any new win that works at a school.
Kinda. I mean, yeah. I was a note taker at OCC, and they let me in. That was like 15 years ago, 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my debt to income is garbage right now. Because like I basically once I sell my mobile home park, I'm about to start paying down my line of credits.
Yeah.
But my apartments, geez, they're renovated. I rented out 42 out of 46 of my units.
That's really good.
So I should be grossing around 26K, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think my expenses, I don't know yet because I'm still repairing stuff, but like theoretically, like if 16K should be expenses, a little over 50%. And then I should be netting 10K.
10. Yeah.
And
That's
then
really
at
good.
that point, if I'm netting 10K, then I can just pay down my lines of credits and then,
There you
continue
go.
to work. And then, at that point, if I don't want to work anymore, I potentially could leave. But yeah, it's been crazy. I'm like, it's like I said, just the mobile home park kind of left a sour taste on things. I put most of my time and energy on there, but my apartments, which were way more passive, or like home
Making so
run.
much money. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like I spent all my time and effort just to lose money on this one deal versus the
Yeah.
two that I neglected. It's just like pouring all this effort into like one kid who's like the worst off, and then
You'll look back in like 6 months and you'll laugh at it, and it'll be a great resume builder and a lot of great stories from it. But yeah, right now it hurts. And then I think one of your videos you said you were forgetting things. I went through the same thing. I went through the most stressful like 6 months this year, and I was forgetting everything. I was like, my temperament was off. It was crazy.
yeah, and yeah, it was crazy. I was really bad between like March to like June, and then
Yeah.
in June I like that's when I started like a routine. Like I did do a morning routine now where
Well,
so I basically learned how to like optimize everything, right? So I do like a morning routine now where like I'll like stretch in silence and like kind of meditate and like gratitude.
mhm.
I didn't believe in all that stuff, right? But then once I learned that if you focus on gratitude, it triggers your serotonin system, and
Oh, wow.
serotonin is the one that resets your dopamine. So I think
Okay.
that when I was buying all that real estate, I was on this like dopamine high.
Yeah.
Like literally 80 units in 8 months. And then I think basically stabilizing, everything, 90 units while working full time. I was just running off dopamine, but eventually like you just crash and burn because the dopamine wears off after a while. And then that's what happened to me. I crashed and burned for like about a 3 month span where I was just like, I felt like a zombie. It's kind of that grind scene, right, of all entrepreneurs. And then at that point, I was just like, geez, I need to like mix something up because I cannot continue like this. And then basically started like taking supplements. Like I take vitamin C, MVI, magnesium, and vitamin D.
Okay.
My pharmacist is my background, but basically most people have low vitamin D levels, and that helps with energy and mood. So most likely, most people would need vitamin D supplementation. Vitamin C helps with inflammation. When you're
Okay.
really stressed, you do feel very inflamed, right? Like that's
Yeah. Yeah.
And then MVI, I mean, I just don't have a balanced diet. And magnesium actually helps you relax and calm your brain down. So I
Right.
usually do that at nighttime. So I started doing that. I made sure I sleep like 8-9 hours a day.
That's so hard for me. That's good that you can get that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids, right now, but I just made an effort to like, hey, I need to get my 8 to 9 hours of sleep because I need to be like in peak condition to fight. Right.
Sure. Is your mind racing and thinking about all these things going on though?
What was that?
Isn't your mind like racing though when you're sleeping or you're trying to sleep?
Well, yeah, that's why the magnesium, it actually triggers your parasympathetic system, which is rest and digest, your
Okay.
relaxation system. So I usually take it with my dinner.
Okay.
And what I do now too is you need a bedtime routine too. So 30 minutes before bedtime, I can't think about anything stimulating or anything stressful. So I don't think
Got
about
it.
my real estate. I won't think about my business. I don't think about what I need to do. It's just that period where like you have to kind of like shut your brain off.
Sure.
And it's hard because we're trained as humans at nighttime. We get anxious because like imagine like caveman days when we had no shelter. You have to prepare yourself so when you sleep, you don't get eaten by like a lion,
Mhm.
right? So it's like very human nature. And then I actually journal every morning now. So like I should like write down whatever's on my mind, whatever it is. Like I don't even think about it, just bullet point. And then like whatever I'm grateful for, what I learned, like what am I gonna do? Like realizations I've had. So I started doing all that, and man, instantaneously, like my energy level, my mood, my resiliency improved significantly. Because like, I felt like, and you probably felt it too, like man, every day I was getting beaten up. Like I was already in a shitty mood, and like, oh hey, this renovation costed double than what you expected. Oh hey, you need to evict 2 tenants because they sharpied all over the walls. You're just getting hit and hit and hit, and you're just reacting. But now I'm just like more resilient to issues. I'm like, okay, well, I just can solve it. And I had to shift my mindset big time, where I'm just like, hey, man, like it may seem really stressful, but at the end of the day, I'm alive, right? It didn't kill me.
Sure, yeah, that's healthy though.
If the problem doesn't kill me, right? Like you're alive, it's not that big of a problem. Or if the problem does kill you, then whatever, you're dead. You don't have a problem anymore.
Right.
So I went through all that, and then, but yeah, I do say that like I'm gonna look back and like I said, in 5 years, not gonna even matter. 10 years is not gonna matter. Like this is probably my first loss, and I built up my net worth by at least 4 million through real estate, and
there you go.
DK hit. It's like dropping the bucket, right?
Yep.
Relatively speaking. So yeah, but
so like the apartment, like even at 50% LTV, it's worth about 4.2, 4.3. Sell at like 2.1. Debt's like 2.1. 1031 exchange that. What the heck am I gonna buy with the 7.5 interest rate with the 4.5 cap? I'm losing money.
Yeah, that's
like if I sell it and our family pays like 500,000 in capital gains, I still walk away like 1.3 after capital gains.
How much can you sell so you can
4.2, 4.3,
4.2, 4.3, so you basically get about 2 million.
Yeah. And
then about 25% goes to long-term capital gains tax.
Well, no. So if I 1031 it, I can avoid
that's true
half a million in capital gains. But yeah, if I don't, then I walk with like maybe 1.4 or something.
Yeah, I mean, with like, geez, how much rent is that property getting right now? What's the gross rent?
30,000 a month.
30,000
gross.
See, that's what's crazy. Like the Oklahoma one was 33K.
Yeah.
And the cost basis was 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy, if you move that money to the Southeast, I mean, you can get like almost 100 unit.
I'm not sure about like all, like I don't see too many buildings here that's all Section 8, I guess. Maybe they don't go on the market as much, but is it common over there?
Honestly, no, just that one.
Oh, okay.
I think because he was a developer, so I think he developed it using the HUD loan. So I think when he built it up, he had to rent out the Section 8. And, I think it is smart, like I said, like as long as they can play by the rules, and all that stuff, it is smart. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because like you said, you're going to buy it and it's going to be about 7.8% interest rate. So you can almost like have less of a loan, like you just have to buy it at the same price or if not higher. But yeah, you can get something pretty big.
Because I have to replace 2.1 and I have to replace like 4.4 or whatever I sell it at.
Yeah. The purchase price has to be the same or higher.
By $1, and then the loan as well, or lower. No, it has to be the same, right?
It could be a little bit higher, but then you can like put a bigger down payment. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't have to do 25% loan to value. You could just, if you sell it for 4.2, you can buy something that's like 4.3 or 4.4.
Right. Yeah.
And then keep the same loan amount, and then you can increase your cash flow big time, right? Because imagine you get 100 doors times 500 a door, it's 50K. You just like, juiced up your cash flow there. But there is some risk associated with that. Or if you have a good syndicator that you can, they'd love to take you, but you have to know.
I don't love syndication. Yeah, we've been doing everything ourselves. It's kind of hard to just give someone else money.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like even with me syndicating, I'm like, honestly, like, and you've proven it too. Like you can build way more wealth than you ever know what to do with without even raising any money. Like if you just take your time and like imagine me, like when interest rates drop, I cash out refinance my 26 unit. I bought for $500,000. I put in 300K to fix it up. So worth 1.6. Like literally, I can cash
out. That was a killer purchase, though.
Yeah, I said like I said, even if I bought the one at $35K per door, like it still would have been a home run. Like I kind of regret not buying it, but who would have known? Because my property manager was even the one saying no. And I talked to my property manager, I was like, you know what? That one that we looked at, I think I should have bought that and not buy the mobile home park. Because basically if I bought something else, I would have not bought the mobile home park. So
darn.
I think